retard max your way through life. You got to do it. You got to retard max your way through life. You got to be retarded. Now, being retarded does not mean what you think it means. The popularized term that people use, the derogatory term people use. Being a retard is what I'm referring to as just slowing down. Search up right now, what does a retard mean? And it literally means to slow down, to delay progress, to take things easy. And there's something to be said about that. You know what I mean? This term is popularized. I got to give credit to where credit's due, to Elijah Long, who I just discovered from my friend on YouTube. I watched one of his videos, and it's all about this idea of retard maxing, of not being so fixated on these little nuances and being so analytical about different things in life, whether it's about health, whether it's about business, whether it's about traveling, content creation. Chill out. Retard max. Just be a retard. Who cares? At the end of the day, it's the end of the day. That's what Elijah Long was pointing towards. That's what he said. And I got inspired by that. You know what I mean? I got inspired by this way of living. You know, the Italian have their way of living similar to this. The Japanese have their way of living also similar to this, where they're essentially just like not in their mind so much. They're not caring so much about things. You know what I mean? You look at someone like Brian Johnson, the health nut guy who wants to live until infinite years, until he's like 100 plus, right? And you look at the Italian 80-year-old, 90-year-old guy who's just retard maxing. He's eating good food. He's playing chess with his friends. He's outdoors all day, smoking cigarettes. And he's retard maxing. He's living a good life. And I think retard maxing, the idea behind it is not about how long of a life you live, not about how many years you live, but of the quality of life you live within your lifetime. Not your lifespan, but your health span. And I don't think that's talked about enough in the health community. You know, everyone's talking about longevity, anti-aging. But aging is inevitable. Death is inevitable. May as well just age as you're supposed to age and live a good life in that experience. In those 80 years, retard max. 80 years of just like doing what you want to do and being so happy and at peace, versus 100 years of constantly worrying about calories in, calories out, constantly worrying about your job, constantly worrying about these different things that are important, but not important enough to allocate all your time and energy to. It's constantly draining. I'm out here right now in Guatemala, okay? And it's like, it's 30 degrees here. It's one of the most beautiful lakes actually in the entire world. Over here it's called Lake Atitlan. And I mean, there's people walking by. I feel a little bit uncomfortable recording right now, but I'm doing it. I'm retard maxing because I don't care what people think. That's how I interpret retard maxing, is just to be able to hold up a phone, talk to the camera. People may think you're a fool, people may think certain things, but that's the cost of retard maxing, of just like being an idiot, being a fool, you know, not a fool, but, you know, just not caring what people think. And I think there's something really powerful and profound about that, especially for those like myself, like I said, who've gone deep into the rabbit holes and now are trying to get out, right? Into the self-improvement rabbit hole and now trying to get out. Into the entrepreneurship, online business rabbit hole, now trying to get out. This is where retard maxing has its place. Not to say it's how you should live your life. I mean, live your life however you want to live your life. But this is just a way to, I guess, have more peace in your life. To not be so rigid in the way you do things. You know, like I'm always writing down what I want to do the next day, right? Because I want to be disciplined. And there's this notion of don't worry about your feelings, about your emotions. Neglect them and just focus on consistency. And there is some truth to that. But if that's the way you're living your life, I mean, do you think life's meant to be lived like that? So be consistent, be disciplined, but sometimes, bro, why does it matter if you don't read that day, if you don't go to the gym that day? Now look, you still want to be disciplined and you still want to be getting results, as you should. But there comes a time and a place where you're just like, screw it, let me just live my life. Let me just be out here chilling by the sun, volcanoes, beautiful lake, beautiful weather, sun shining. I'm not thinking about, oh, well, you know, I'm being unproductive right now, just sitting out here in the sun. Or, oh, I should be, you know, posting a video on Instagram or whatever, doing whatever it may be, but I'm just chilling. Retard maxing, I think, is just chilling. It's letting things happen, letting things unravel. And this is why I go back to, I don't know, the Italian culture, the Japanese culture, which I don't know so much about, but I do know that the parallels in both those cultures is that they're just chilling. They meditate, or they're just laughing, they're having a good time. This poison in Western society of like being extremely analytical, constantly thinking about the next thing, constantly comparing yourself to other people. This is such a poison, a cancer to life. Your ancestors would be rolling in their graves if they were to know about just how you live each day of your life, how you're not even present, how you're constantly in your head, how you're worrying about things that don't matter. You're fixated on the minutia of things, on such trivial things that will not bring you any more fulfillment in life. And that's pretty sad, because aren't we all chasing fulfillment and happiness? Anyways, I just felt inspired to make this video on a topic that I've been newly introduced to, a topic that I know has been circulating online for quite some time now. And I hope you feel inspired to start retard maxing, start living your life on your own terms, coming to places like this, even if you shouldn't be able to go because of, you know, your budget or whatever. Of course, you need to be still logical. I'm not saying you should just like go broke and retard max and be out here in Guatemala. But stop being so rigid with the way you're living your life. It's hurting you a lot. And it'll either take you many years to realize this or never at all. And that's a sad part. A lot of people, they never get to a point where they realize life is meant to be enjoyed and to be doing more being rather than doing. You're a human being. Remember that. We're just being here. Just like other animals, just like other plants, just like everybody else. And that's where retard maxing comes in. Just being. And sometimes you need to, you know, make money online. You need to eat well and be able to source local food and all these different things, as you should. But 80-20 it, right? 20% of what you're going to be inputting should lead to 80% of your results. Therefore, the rest of the 80% of inputs, chill out. 20% of your day, you're like grinding, you know, you're doing work, you're doing calls, you're thinking about, like, you know, the food you're eating and about, you know, things you want to accomplish in the day. Then 80% of the day, the rest of the day, bro, just chill out, like what I'm doing. This is advice I need for myself too, as much as I'm talking about it for someone else watching this video. This is for me as well. This is what I've fallen victim to, you could say, of just the Western trap up here. So yeah, that's a wrap for this video. If you feel like you're resonating with this message and you feel like you're looking for more clarity or someone to just guide you along the way, someone who's done some things myself, links down below if you'd like to book a call with me to have a chat and see if there's some alignment to collaborate, to work together as a mentor. So yeah, I will see you next one. Look how beautiful this is. Wow. retard maxing. Peace out.